Game started.
Super King playing E4. Okay, so I'm going to play French. Haven't played that in a few games. See how this works out. I do the normal move here, D5, and the Tarrasch. So I guess there are other ways of playing against the Tarrasch. You can bring the knight out, but I normally do this move here, C5, and then the knight move to increase the pressure here. So now if I take, he takes, that's still defended. Can I bring the queen out to B3? B6 rather. And he can take here. I guess I could consider knight. This knight move, sort of asking him what he wants to do with his e-pawn. So knight F6 pressures the e-pawn and supports the d-pawn. And you can push and kick the knight around, and you get the usual well, the knight dance that you get in so many French variations. Yep. So the knight goes here. So I think I want to exchange here, so the bishop won't be occupied with that square. And the knight gets that square if he takes with the knight. If he takes with the pawn, then that opens up this square over here. But I get a square, one way or another I get a square for one of my knights. Okay, I want to get in the move F6 here. And the question is, can I do it? The problem is this pawn here is not defended after F6. So this knight maybe needs to get out of the way. Or maybe I should just play a few other moves first. So how about knight to C5? He can kick it with B4. Then I can drop it into the knight from C5 can go to E4, and that can be kind of an annoyance to white. And this piece is protected by the bishop, so it's not actually loose there. He has a queen out here. No, he has no queen attack moves. Just the bishop. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. Put my bishop here, castle, and play for F6. I could have just traded that knight off, too, as a way of alleviating the pressure on my e-pawn, but I'll save that for later. Okay, now how do I want to take back? With the rook? I mean, probably with the bishop. This leaves this knight loose. But I don't see him exploiting that immediately, so let's take back with the bishop. Now I could consider knight e4, takes, and I have these weird doubled pawns. I could play knight e4 now, and he's not even, I'm not even doubling my pawns. And he can't chase it away. Knight e4, and maybe queen b6, and this knight is reinforcing the d4 square. That's what's going on. And or the knight's jumping in here, can come into this square. It's still knight e4, looks like the move there. And your opponent has opened up a square in his camp for you to occupy. It seems like you're almost obligated to do it. So knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. If I had the queen there, queen takes, pawn takes. Wouldn't necessarily be good for me. I'd just get a lot of material off, and I would still have a backward pawn here. So How about the bishop? The light squared bishop, a traditional problem piece in the French defense. And let's see, his knight can come into, if I were to play, for example, bishop here, his knight could come into b5 and threaten to go to d6, but that's actually guarded by the knight, so I'm not yet worried about that. Maybe, no, he's going to attack my knight with his bishop. So he's going to give up his light squared bishop in order to mess up my pawns. And I could just pull back to d6 here. And opens up a line this way. I think let's hold on to that. Hold on to my pawn structure for a while. I'm thinking knight a5 to c4 might be an idea, and now it's supported by the knight on d6. And he's got pressure on my h7 pawn. I have to be careful about that. In fact, if he lines up his queen there, I probably have to play h6, which will create some weaknesses. Might be a problem. Oh, he jumps into that nice hole on d5, yeah. So if I take with the bishop, I don't necessarily want to do that. Maybe I just want to get my knight out of the way. So knight f7, threatening knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. And so that kind of forces him to do something. If he wants to take my light squared bishop, that's my bad bishop anyway, so he can have it. And I do still have weaknesses on the light squares here. So queen there, forcing me to play, or queen there, forcing me to play h6, and then he can bring the knight in. So this is mate. I have to do something about that. And I can't play g6 because he can sack. Bishop takes g6, pawn takes, queen takes. Well, it's not so obvious. g6, need knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. So I have a bishop to defend here. Oh, he can get to this square. Yes, he sacks the knight. Comes in with the bishop, and he's threatening mate here. So queen here, bishop here, and mate threatened on h7. So what do I have to defend against that? I guess I have to play that. And if he plays knight to g6, it's annoying, but I don't see that it's immediately fatal. I may be wrong. So yeah, he's probably trying to figure out the best way to proceed with the attack. He's got a lot of options. So the knight here is protected adequately, so takes. Probably, just bringing up the rook is an idea here. But I'm going to start taking stuff, getting rid of pieces here. And My pieces are not so badly placed. This bishop and this rook are out of the action, but the others are in the neighborhood ready to jump in. So yeah, it's not obvious to me that this is fatal. Oh, queen. How about queen g6? Is that fatal? Queen g6 threatening queen h7 mate. What can I do about that? Anything? Yeah, I think that's a hole in my plan here. Yeah, so knight g6 was not as good, I don't think. I'll have to look at that later with the computer, see if queen g6 would have been better. So, do I want to take something first? I mean, I could throw in knight takes, bishop takes, bishop takes. Or I could just move the rook out of the way and see where he goes. The knight here is sort of in the way of his attack, really. He probably wants that square for the queen. Busting in with the pawn. Yeah, that's probably good. So let's get rid of this knight. Get rid of this bishop. And trade off this pawn. And this gives a little more scope for my bishop. So actually, I think I may have relieved the pressure here adequately. You can take there with the queen or the rook. Then I need to move this, maybe. What do I do? Well, he's not taking it immediately. If he goes here with check, I take the knight, I defend my own knight. Let's see, how's his back rank? It's weak, but I can't yet exploit it. Okay, the knight, moving the knight to attack the rook, is that an idea? Let's try this. Knight here. It's getting a little claustrophobic around my king. Oh, he can play there. Oops. Okay, can I take advantage of that in some way? Queen here, defending the knight. Defending my knight and attacking his knight. Now, the knight can't be defended, so it has to move, and can't go here, here, here. Could go there. That's probably a good square for it. There. Or back to there. That's not good. So I could go to that square or to that square. Yep. So now I can threaten mate. He has a fork here to fork the king and the queen. I mean, the rook and the queen, but I will mate him first. So, but after he makes a defensive move here, yeah, that should do it. Now I have to do something about this fork. Probably rook here. Okay, can I do anything to take advantage of his pieces where they are? You know, his rook is not in the game. Everything though, I can harass the queen and sack up another pawn, which would leave this guy undefended. So g6, queen takes h6, knight here, attacking the queen and attacking the rook. queen moves. Away from h6, it can't actually defend the knight. Let's try this. This is kind of a funny idea. But, you know, see if he falls for it. And if rook takes, I take the queen. So he could give up the exchange, I suppose. Queen takes h6. Knight here. Let's see if he's got something. See, he can't get back to defend his rook, so his rook is hanging and his queen is hanging. And knight to g3 check, that might come in handy. Ah, he sacks the exchange. Yeah, I thought he might do that. So he's 2 pawns for the exchange. It's probably good. And where is his knight going? His knight can come to that square. Yeah, just defends with the rook. Okay, so I want to lift one of my rooks and use it to chase away his queen. Now when I attack the queen with my rook, the queen's not going anywhere. This diagonal, it could come here, or it could come to here. All right, could I just take this pawn? No, he takes, I take, and then he grabs this pawn, which is annoying. So let's chase the queen away. Okay, now I attack this pawn with the other rook. Okay, well, let's put both rooks on it then. Oh, the queen can grab a pawn over here. That's annoying. Very annoying. Attacking my queen and this pawn. Let's go here, holding on to that. And hitting the knight. And attacking his pawn. Of course, I can't really. I think he needs to do something about the knight, and then I can at least grab one pawn over here. Queen goes back to there. Okay, now he is threatening to take that, but now I can take back with the rook.
White resigns.
Okay, well,
Incoming
that was maybe
challenge.
a little premature, but here, I'll play him another game.